before we go back over to my funky disc to clean up the sides of the guard and the front of the handle here, I wanted to show you I went ahead and redid my center line, and I used the marker this time, and we're looking good. Everything's symmetrical off that. But right here, I don't know if I can get this to show up, if the camera will focus, but everything looks pretty damn close. But right here, hopefully that you can see that we're just a little bit off center right there. So all that means is we need to take just a little bit of material off of this side to get the apex of our front guard lug centered like it should be. And it's a really minimal amount, but it's worth fixing. So like I said, it's minimal, and that's the kind of thing it's really easy to get off by that much. So and actually you have to be careful, because it would be really easy to overcorrect this and take too much off, so we don't want to do that. Now we're going for as clean a fit and finish on these knives as we can get. One area that can be really tricky on getting a really clean finish is this transition on the sides of the handle up onto the guard. There's a lot of different ways you can do it, and one of the best ways to keep it crisp and clean is to finish grind this on the disc sander. And the problem with a 9-inch disc, even if you have a really nice one with the taper like one of the ones I have from Nathan, you can't roll all the way around the guard, and so there's always added operations. You either have to try to do it delicately on the belt, or use a rotary platen. That's something I did for a long time. But the thing is you'll never get as pristine of a finish that makes it easier to move on to your hand sanding as what you can establish on the disc. And so I had this idea floating around in my head for quite a few years, and I just finally bit the bullet sometime this year and actually followed through with the idea. And so I'll give you a closer look at why this poses a problem, and then what I came up with as a solution. So here we've got a basic 9-inch disc, and we can do the sides of our guard, the front of our handle. We can roll up to about here, and you can actually roll away around the back. But to get the front of the lug, when you try to roll up here, you're gonna hit, because we have this big flare on the end of our handle, and also because we have a big drop that's pretty much out in line with the front of our lug. When we roll this around, we're gonna bump into the disc, and we're gonna grind the front of this flare off, or it's gonna kick the knife away from us. So just a little different view here. You can see it right as we roll around, you're hitting right here on the ass end of this knife. So what I came up with was this. Still a 9-inch disc, obviously, but it's basically a donut. I machined this so that we've got a cavity here in the center. I've still got enough of a flat area that I can true this up, but because there's that cavity there, now you can roll this all the way around, and you can go all the way around this guard and get a really nice finish off the disc, and don't have to add any kind of weird secondary operation. We just go from this to our hand sanding, and works really well. Unfortunately, this setup I have it on, this is an old DC motor, and it's pretty well clapped out, so it doesn't run real well, but it works well enough that it proved the theory to be valid. And so one of these days I'm gonna set this up with a newer motor and controller, but for now this definitely helps this finishing process a lot. Alright, here we are right off the grinder for the second time around. We did the disc and cleaned up our sides of our guard. Then we went over to the slack belt and just did a quick cleanup on all this to make sure all the transitions were done the way that I like to do them. I should mention I had a guy in the shop a while back, and we were talking about how I do this, and he was saying that he needed to get a lot more practice in on his grinder so he could get better at doing that. And I told him that he needed to get better with files, because really, hopefully, as you've seen by following this is really all established with hand files. And then over there on the belt grinder, I was just cleaning it up real quick. I mean, it should literally take a few seconds with the slack belt to come in and sweep that out. And if it takes any more than that, then you're going to end up washing out your softer handle material and having a lump where you transition up into the guard. So we definitely don't want that. And smoothed everything out. There's a little bit of funkiness in the finish here because this needs to get trued up just a little bit more, and I'll do that with my hand finishing. So it's time to do that now.